Hello and welcome, Podia peeps. My name is Brittany Hardy, Certified Podia Pro, and I am here today to walk you through the sales page basics using Podia. This will work whether you are creating a standalone digital product, a digital service, a course, a membership, anything you can sell on Podia. You can use this framework to create a high converting sales page. And I'm actually going to make up a product on the fly so I can show you how easy it is to put all of this together. But before I get into building the basics, I want to take you through just a couple of things as it relates to sales pages themselves. So I want to talk about different types of landing pages really quickly so that we're not confusing a sales page with a lead gen or opt-in page or a click-through page. What we're really talking about today is a product and or service landing page, aka a sales page. So a lead generation page, these are designed to capture visitor information through forms, offering valuable content in exchange. So in other words, building your email list, offering a freebie. Those would typically, you can kind of call them a sales page, but you're not selling anything. You're offering something in exchange for contact information. So we would typically call that a lead gen or a lead generation page. Then you have click-through pages, also very similar, but these ones you're trying to persuade someone to click through to another page. So this is more generally, you see these in e-commerce funnels or more complex funnels, which you do see for courses, memberships, and digital products, but it is much less common than what we are going to focus on today, which is a product landing page, otherwise known as a sales page. So this is where you're showcasing a specific product or service, course, membership, highlighting its features and benefits to drive sales and actually make someone purchase the thing that you're offering. Now, what makes a good sales page? I don't want you to read all of these things and then freak out thinking, oh my gosh, I have to have all of these things in the very beginning, because that's not true. But in the long run, you're going to want to have all of these things included to make your sales page chef's kiss. The good news is it's very easy to do that with Podia. So let's go through some of these. So it's designed to persuade visitors to take a specific action. So the most important thing I want to kind of hammer home today is that it's typically you're going to have this to sell one product or service. So if you think about a website page such as services. So my old site, for example, I had home, about, marketing services, blog, contact, pretty standard 5-page layout. It's pretty hard to have a sales page, a true sales page that is all of the things that I used to offer as a marketing agency owner. So this screenshot, it might be a little bit blurry if you're looking at the recording, but it says website design, social media marketing, Facebook lead ads. So each service is its own sales page, which makes it a lot easier to speak specifically to that one person for that niche product or service. So that's what I want to make sure that it's clear today. You're going to build this, if you're following this training, for one product or service, not multiple on the same page. Doesn't mean you can't have pricing tiers on your sales page, but it's going to be for one thing. So compelling copy, especially the headline and subheadline, to capture attention right away is super important. A clear value explanation or value proposition of what you're offering, why it's valuable, and how it helps your audience. If you can hit all of those points, you probably have a winner. Social proof is really important. Benefits over features. This is something that I actually struggle with myself even today, and I do copywriting and sales page design for a living, but it's very easy to get kind of stuck in the weeds and think about the features and how. But what we really want to be able to take a step back and talk about the benefits and the future results of what you're actually going to help people do, achieve, overcome as a result of the modules, let's say, included in the course. Because people really, what they're buying, they're investing in your expertise, they're investing in a result. They're not necessarily wanting to shell out the money for the how, even though that's what we do when we sell the course or the service of the program. But what they're really buying is the result on the other side. So communicating that clearly is very important. Okay, so what else makes a really great sales page? Of course, you're going to want something that's easy to navigate. I didn't note this on the slides, but you want to make sure you're kind of sprinkling in those call to action buttons, which kind of fits into easy to navigate throughout. So if you have a really long sales page, you want to make sure that there are multiple times where you have that purchase button, so somebody's not navigating away or trying to scroll all the way to the top or the bottom to find that button. Podia makes that really easy for you to accomplish with the little sticky bar that stays at the top as well, but you do want to make sure that you have some extra purchase or call to action buttons, i.e. what do you want them to actually buy. You want eye-catching visuals. Now, you don't have to be a professional graphic designer to make really awesome looking sales pages using Podia, but I will show you a little mock-up trick that I use in Canva to make my course mock-up images really stand out. You're going to want to overcome objections, kind of goes without saying, whether that's with testimonials, case studies, or using FAQs at the bottom of your page or halfway through, wherever it works for you. You want to make sure it is easy to purchase. So not only do you want those buttons, your call to action buttons, labeled clearly so it's not obscure and confusing, but you want to make sure whatever you're using in the background is easy for someone to actually facilitate giving you their money, their hard-earned dollars, to buy your course, program, service, whatever it is that you're selling. And then at the very bottom, I usually include my FAQs, unless it's a really, really short sales page, but I'm going to take you through the longer version. And then seal the deal. This is what I call it anyways. I usually have a little bit of a letter or like a personal appeal at the bottom of my sales page from myself in my case. And that really helps kind of draw in that personal touch, the last little bit there. And it's sort of the, the last appeal if someone is kind of on the fence when they are on my sales page. Now, just to kind of sum this up, let's talk about best practices overall for your sales page design. So you want to keep it simple and focused. Even if it's a long sales page, the way that you're going to keep that simple and focused is to create short sections. The less text per section, the better. So if you have a lot to say, that is still great, but you want to break it up with images and shorter text, bullet points, short sentences. It has to be very easy to read. You don't need to reinvent the wheel here, so use those complicated elements sparingly. Contrasting designs, it's really important to make those buttons especially pop. I know the word pop is like a designer's worst nightmare. Make that design pop. But I put it in here anyways, because you do actually want to make sure that there's enough contrast in those sections that it doesn't look cluttered and that your call to action buttons are just buried in the background. You do not want that. Persuasive copy, again, I don't think we all need to be expert copywriters to make fantastic sales pages. We have lots of AI tools that can help. I'm not suggesting that you use AI or ChatGPT to write all of your copy. Certainly it's helpful in brainstorming, but if you feel really stuck and you've got a little bit of the copy there, you can always use some of those AI tools in your back pocket and ask them to make it more funny, more engaging, more persuasive, and it will help you do that, and you can build on that. So persuasive copy is really key. So find that happy medium of something that's long enough to convey the info needed, but not so long that it just goes forever and ever and ever and repeats the same thing 100 times, because we don't need to do that. And then of course you want to make sure it's optimized for all devices. So in my case, most of my traffic I can see in my Google Analytics comes from desktop because they're business owners looking on their computers during the day for different services, but your traffic may or may not be predominantly on a mobile device, which means you want to make sure that you design with mobile first in mind. Now, Podia, of course, is responsive out of the box, so you don't have to worry about things looking funny on a mobile or a desktop. It's going to look great on either one and it's going to scale appropriately, but you might want to consider that when you're thinking of which way you're going to order your images and your text. Okay, so without further ado, let's get on to the Podia demo. Here we go. Okay, friends, I am back over here in Podia. I am creating a fake product for the purpose of this demo, and I want to show you a sneaky little thing that I do when I'm creating products, and I don't know if they're going to sell yet. Even with an email list that is a decent size, I don't always sell the things that I put out. Sometimes it's because I haven't talked about it long enough, or sometimes it really just is that I thought it was a really great idea and my audience didn't really need it at the time, or they didn't think they needed it. Maybe my messaging wasn't on point. So I actually pre-sell a lot of things that I'm going to create before I make them, which might sound crazy and totally scary for some of you, but I have created far too many things that didn't sell and wasted a lot of time. So now I actually go through and I create the product. I usually just have a text lesson that literally just says coming soon because it's going to start on a future date. So I'm going to make this a paid product. And I'm going to pretend this is a single, I don't know, it's a $27 Canadian course. Let's just pretend. But I'm not going to make it so that people can get access right away. I'm actually going to have a future start date. So I'm going to pretend that this is going to be, I don't know, a month from now. So typically what I would do, I would make the product, I would decide what's going to be, make the framework. I mean, not record all of the lessons and create the workbooks, but I would create the framework and create a sales page, a basic sales page, and then I would actually go ahead and I would start trying to sell this product to my email list and on my social media channels. And if I don't sell any by, let's say, November 1st, 2 weeks before this product is going to launch, I delete it and I don't make it, and then I haven't lost anything except for some time making a sales page. This has really helped me a lot doing things this way. So if you haven't tried this and it doesn't freak you out and it's not an enormous course that's like 8 to 10 weeks, something like that, then you can try this method for sure. If it's a mini course or just kind of a one-off webinar that you want to sell, this works quite well. So all I have is the basics here, and I'm actually going to choose just a placeholder from Unsplash integration here so that I have something. Okay, so now my product exists. So I'm going to go into edit the sales page. So I can get to it from two ways. I can get to it from my website editor or from my products area. So right now I'm in the products area, and I'm going to click these little 3 dots here. Then I'm going to click edit sales page. Now you will notice Podia's actually already created at least the basic framework of the sales page. So I'm going to show you the things that I turn on and off right away, especially when I'm pre-selling a product, and then I'm going to go through and add these sections. So the first thing I do is I click into this first row here, and because it's going to have more than one lesson when it's done, I'm going to click off this part here, which is included items. I can leave it as a course. I'm going to leave the start date because I want people to know it doesn't start until then. And then any other things, if I wanted to toggle on or off the description, I could do that. If I want to toggle off that start date, if it was something I was selling right away, I could, but because I have it on a future date, I'm putting it there. Now I'm going to open up Canva really quick and show you this little mock-up piece that I create for the top of the sales page. I'm actually going to do it from scratch because I don't want to cheat. So type course mockup. You will find lots that you could use, right? You could click this and you could get rid of the words, and you could put things into here and use that. And then there's a few other things you can add that really kind of make it pop. So let's use this as our base, and then I'm going to go and I'm going to take a screenshot of maybe my home page or part of it, just so that I can use it over here. So I'm going to drag it over here to my uploads. Okay, and now I can drag this in to move it, and then I'm just going to use the same image on all of these for the demo, because it doesn't really matter on the fake course, but you get the idea. Okay, and then what I like to do to make these images really kind of stand out, under elements in Canva, I'm gonna go, I like to put plants in my stuff, which some of you might think is weird, but I love it. So I'm gonna grab, sometimes it takes a little bit of playing around with to figure out the ones that you like and where you want them, but I'm gonna put that maybe here, and then maybe I'm gonna grab and move it around within your design as well. So if you go to position and then you want to see your layers, I can decide if I want it, behind some of these things. Maybe like that, but maybe we want it a little bigger. Okay, let's pretend. I usually put some more fun sparkly things and bits around here, but let's go with that for now. And then I'm going to add, looks like there's a bit of a shadow, but I'm going to also add I'm going to type glow. I'm going to have a bit of a purple glow, and I'm going to put that all the way in the back, just so it gives it kind of that subtle. Now, if you download the image from Canva as is, it's going to have all of that height on the top and bottom that I don't want. But if I just drag my mouse over until everything I want is highlighted and right click it, I can click download selection, and then I want the PNG with a transparent background, and that will grab everything else, but it's going to crop it a little bit on the side so I don't have all of that dead space. around it. Okay, so I'm gonna go back over here to Podia, and this is what I'm gonna put in this top section. So where this placeholder is, I'm gonna change that and say upload from computer. And then over here in my downloads, also best practice to name your designs before you upload it so you don't have to try and go back and change those. So I might call this sales page supercharged. Is that what I call this pretend course? I think it is. Supercharged mockup. So if you don't have it titled in Canva, not to worry, title it here in your computer before you upload it over here. Occasionally, it doesn't show right away in the preview. It is there. Don't panic. If I click view site, you will see that is there. Look at how awesome that looks already with a mockup. So this page was already half created, but let's keep going. The other thing I do on sales pages, depending on where I'm sending traffic from, I may or may not turn off the top navigation. In this case, I am going to, because I'm going to pretend that I'm sending this to my email list or from social, and I don't want people getting lost in the other pages on my site. I don't really want them to go to build and design your site or your email list. I don't want them to go anywhere. So what I'm going to do is over here in my very top left, which is where I toggle the pages that I'm editing on my site, I'm going to find this page right here, sales page supercharge, and I'm going to click page settings, and right here where it says show header, I'm going to turn that off. There you go. So now publish. Now if I refresh this, you will see the header is gone. But this part here with the contents, unless you know exactly what's going to be in that program and it's already there, I usually delete this row. I don't want it. Okay, and then I'm going to click the plus button here, and I'm going to add I'm just going to actually go plain text section like this. And then again, you have all of this space that you can start using. So I just want that headline, and then I want this sub headline is going to go here in this case. And when you highlight over text, you have some formatting options, and I like to use the highlight colors. So I'm going to highlight this and this. All right. I click publish as a habit as I go through so that I can go over here and look at what it looks like as I go through and create my design, which is super helpful. Now, what if this was a design tutorial? I might be showing you some different things, some funky things you can do in the background, maybe moving elements or using some really fun videos. But what I really want to focus on today is just the sections that you're going to want in your sales page itself, because once that's there, it becomes a lot easier to go back and add more. So let's keep going. So we have our headline, we have our subheadline. Now you want something, a sentence about the product. So that's what I'm putting in over here. And I'm actually going to put it in this same section. And then I have a next section is what's included. So the course breakdown, again, this is just a sample, but let's have this one as underneath this section. I'm going to make this now an image. I like to alternate text, image throughout my designs. And I'm going to put this here. Okay, so here's module 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I'm going to want some kind of image here. If you have a brand photo shoot and though that works and there's pictures, if you're selling something like this where I'm pretending that I'm selling a course where I'm helping people design sales pages, then photos of me working from a brand shoot would work. If not, you can use real people, you can use mock-ups. Canva is definitely your best friend. But I am going to go over here and I'm just going to use, I think I have some of the stuff I want uploaded over here. So naming your images and giving it alt text is important for your SEO or your search engine optimization as well. So I'm not on camera, I'm not going through and doing all of the alt descriptions, but I am renaming the images at least so that you can see that. Now I also like to alternate, just a design preference I suppose. If I have an image at the top on the right, then the next time I have an image, I'm going to have it on the left. And unless it's something that's contained within the same section, like it belongs to the same subset of information, then I will either decide to keep it together or alternate. I like to put all of the information in first and then go back and do a lot of the design tweaks so that I stay focused on what I need to actually articulate on this page. So that's what I'm doing right now. So you might be wondering, like, why does she have all of this random white space? Well, I'm going back and I'm going to edit that after. So let's keep going with our next sections. We have this what's included, and then let's talk about this benefits over features section. So I'm going to go on this, and I'm actually going to just duplicate this, but I'm going to switch when I go to design. I'm going to change, instead of left center for the image, I'm going to have right center. So I'm just moving it over there. And then I'm going to paste over this text. Let's change that over here. All right, and our next section now we have as social proof. So this is meant to be a testimonial section. So let's put that here. Now, sometimes I do testimonials as a grid layout, but let's just use the actual testimonials block for this one. And let's have, I'm going to put one in this generated, and then we're going to leave the rest as placeholders so you can see. I'm usually also getting rid of these clickable website sections. So unless you are selling services or products to other business owners, which in my case I am, but most people are not. They're usually selling their courses or programs to consumers, so you probably won't be needing to link to a website unless it lends credibility, right? Then you can get rid of that. Otherwise, this is going to link to nowhere, and you don't want that. Okay, so we have a testimonial section, and then let's talk about the objections. This is really important. In this section we have 3, so I'm going to use the grid layout. This one here. Paste in my text. I'm putting these in the individual items, and I'm using the same placeholder image for now because it doesn't matter for the demo, and we don't want to watch me design images all day. That would be really boring. So let's use these, or would it be boring? I don't know. Maybe people do want to see sneaky image design. I don't know. Okay, let's put this here. And if it doesn't work, all right. And let's put that same image again. Just want you guys to see how incredibly fast this is to build a sales page. Now, when I put in this image grid block, it gave me 6 placeholders. I only want 3, so I'm just going to click into these ones I don't want, and I'm just going to delete them. I don't need them. And if I decided I want them back, I can click new item and I can get them back. Now, I can also control over here in the web editor how many columns I have. So if I wanted this to be 1 and have them stacked, or 2, 3, 6, you get the idea. But I have 3 items, so it's going to be perfect for a layout like this. We're going to have another purchase button because at this point it's been a few sections before we have this buy now button. So I am going to add right here, and I'm going to use this call to action like this. All right, and I'm going to show you how to grab this link actually. Dots, and you click share product, and then you're going to grab this, the checkout link, and that is what you can put behind this button to create multiple purchase links throughout the page. Okay, so we have that, and then we're going to have some FAQs. So let's put that here. Oops. And we're going to use this layout. So I like to, if I'm copying and pasting from different areas, whether that's a Google Doc, ChatGPT, Notion, whatever, wherever I have my copy, I like to paste it in over here so I can go back and forth to the questions or the grid, like the items, so that I can go over here and I'm not having to change tabs altogether. If it doesn't bother you, you can certainly change tabs if you want to, but I find it easier to just have to go back. One like this, it's easier for me. Okay, then we're gonna have another testimonials row. These are fake, but you know, I'm just gonna duplicate this row that I already have, and I'm gonna move it down to where I wanted, below those FAQs. This. It's a very weak refund policy. I would have that written out a little nicer, but again, for the demo, not important. And then the very last thing I like to put actually is a little bit of a letter. So I'm gonna copy one that I have on another sales page so that you can just kind of see what it looks like. This is a really long sales page. This is a sales page that I used to sell a membership, so you can see how much copy. There's a lot of copy. But here's some of these fancy mock-ups that have the plants and the coffee and highlights, and it looks really nice. And you can see we have these buttons spliced throughout and real member testimonials. But at the very bottom is where I have, there it is, a letter. So I'm going to copy this, and this is what I'm going to use down here. So this is what I like to call like my final appeal or seal the deal. And I'm going to make this an image row like this. And here's my letter. And then again, I'm going to have the image. Okay, so now we're looking at this page, what it looks like, just the text and the images on plain white. And if your branding is quite simple and you want to leave it like this, you certainly could. If this was just to pre-sell your course, you could send it out this way. I'm going to go through and I'm going to create a little bit of variation with the design just to make it stand out a little more, and we're going to kind of go from there. So this top one, I'm going to leave white. This next section down, I'm going to put it in a card because I like that. And then I'm going to make this, let's see what that looks like. Usually I'm just hitting publish and then I'm going back and forth and I'm refreshing it to see if I like what I see. So far that's fine. So I think I'm gonna leave, let's make the next one purple. So this one, I'm gonna make this purple. I like to have lots of padding on the top and bottom of these sections, so I will adjust that a little bit. This one I'm gonna leave white, and then maybe the testimonials I want to really stand out, so maybe I make those the really dark, my sort of bright purple. White is good there. This one, again, I want this one to stand out as well, but let's put this in a card and then make it, let's do black. Leave the FAQs white, testimonials again to match the other ones, create some consistency. Let's make those purple. That can stay white, and then this kind of final letter at the bottom, we'll have it stay white as well. Also, if it bugs you that the height of your image doesn't match the height of the text, you can do one of two things. You can decrease the text, move some of the text out to another box, or if you toggle over to design, I can see this one just needs to be a little taller, so I'm going to make it aspect ratio portrait, and then it looks a little better. Obviously this letter is for something else and not this course, but you get the idea that that's where we put that. So let's hit publish and refresh over here and see if we like what we see. So now I still have lots of clean white space here, so the product stands out. Nice bold. Here's what we do. Here's what you get inside. Here's the result, testimonials. This would be the section of, here's why this course is for you. Again, these images would be different, but you get the idea. Placeholder for the demo. Make sure you have that call to action button, because you could see if we had it once up here and then they had to scroll for a really long time before having that option to click purchase again, it can be a little bit annoying, especially if you're on a phone and you're scrolling for a long time. We have some FAQs, more testimonials, money back guarantee, and the final appeal. Now, this is your starting point for your sales page. This isn't a super long page. If you want to have it a little bit shorter even, you could, but this is about as short as I think you could make it when you're selling anything, especially a mini course. If you have something that's a longer commitment, it's higher price, then you might want to go ahead and spend the time to have a really long sales page, such as this one that's a demo. I can link this below if anyone wants to see an example of these longer ones as well. But that is sales pages with Podia. as quick as I could possibly make it. Thank you for hanging out with me with this tutorial. If there's anything you need help with, I will do my very best to answer the questions underneath this tutorial video. And you can always reach me at emptydesksolutions.ca. There is a little work with me button over there with a free coffee chat on Zoom. I will see you guys in the Podia community. Bye!